So Sure Strip is non-dilutable. The technology to take the sealer off is too tight. I can't adjust it to the field. You can't thin this out with water. The solvent that's actually in here is not available to the general public. You cannot get this stuff. So just accept the fact this is going to be a ready-to-use product. And it's very simple to do. You're just going to put the product on to the surface, onto the seal that you're trying to strip. And I'm just going to just put a little bit on the corner here. Again, I'm doing a field test. I'm trying to understand what does it take to take off Mr. and Mrs. Smith's sealer off of their back patio. I'm gaining information. I'm witnessing to my customer that I know how to do this. I have the right tools. I understand your goal, and here we're going to do it real quick. So you can start this little test going. Dwell times on Sure Strip are going to be somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes. The newer the sealer, the thicker the sealer, the longer the dwell time is going to be. There are circumstances where you might have to apply a second coat to this. Does water or salt-based sealers. I can take off about 85% of the sealers that are in the marketplace right now. There is some stuff, and I have to research again. I don't remember what the product is that's made down here by what I refer to as affectionately as a bathtub company. That literally are making it a used bathtub in their garage. So you kind of get the picture versus a national company like us. There's one of those products down here, and I know there's one out of California. That's just some crazy thick stuff. And when you call both of those companies and you ask them, how do I get your Magic X sealer off, they have no clue. They have no idea what's going to take it off. Now there are some things, some real old school, I call it nuclear types of strippers out in the marketplace. Just be careful with that. All of my kids have 10 toes and 10 fingers. None of them are webbed. So I think I've been pretty safe, to date. So just be careful. Just protect yourself with that. Can I take sealers off with my, 3,500 PSI 8 gallon per minute machine? Boy, with a rip saw, yeah, you probably could. But I bet you I'm going to damage that surface as well. So that might not be the best tool. And that's why a liquid tool like this, would be able to do that. So you would leave this dwell. Again, the idea is to keep this wet. I don't want this to dry out. If it happens to dry out on you, and this goes for any one of my 5 cleaning tools, I take the same tool at the same dilution and re-wet that surface. I'll get that to re-emulsify. I then can get it, agitated if I need to, and get it rinsed off the surface. So it's real easy to get back out of it. It's not a matter of applying water. Again, I use Sure Strip, so I would apply more Sure Strip to get that, cleaned off of there. So you go through, like I say, a 10-minute, cycle perhaps. I go into my tool bag, and I've got some stuff that I travel with. I don't obviously take this on the plane, but I use this tool. And I know you guys are going to go, oh wow, that's a cheap, putty knife or paint scrape or whatever. I love this tool. I can scrape all day long on these surfaces and not damage that substrate. I can do it on travertine. I can do it on wet cast products. I can do it on pavers, stamped, asphalt, whatever the case, stamped concrete, whatever the case might be, and I'm not going to damage that surface. I'm going to have to buy a new scraper. This cost me 89 cents, by the way. Go buy a box of them. That's fantastic. This is my bulldozer, by the way. And on sealer, what I'm going to do is what's called a back draw. I'm going to back draw over the top of this, and what I'm looking for is those polymers to start curling up and forming up on top of that. Some of the old school guys will take your thumb and back draw across the same way. I'm looking for that. Now I'm going to be your guinea pig. I don't want you guys necessarily to do this. You also can touch it. Now what's missing? What's my PPE that's missing right now?
Gloves.
Black, my favorite, glove. Sorry, I stepped over my line here. But I want to touch this, I want to feel this. It should start to feel snotty, slippery. There's absolutely something going on there. If you have another surface that's unsealed, in this case I've got a paver, I can feel what this feels like, and we're getting close here. It still needs a little bit more time though. I can actually feel that sealer, starting to release on top of there.
What's the sealer that you put down?
Yeah, this happens to be a solvent-based sealer. It's our SB9000. SB9000. It's a very thick, wet look, semi-gloss, if you will. It's going to have a lot of sheen to it. As long as we're talking about that, because I'm just trying to give this a little more time, sheen is dependent upon the porosity of the surface. So those 2 slabs of white concrete here that I had, very porous. they're gonna suck up sealer like crazy. That's gonna be a challenge to get gloss out of that. You know, so you might have to plan on a second application, a light mist coat over the top of it will help raise the sheen of that. You notice that I don't like using the term gloss. What does gloss mean to most people? Slippery, right. So I like to use sheen. I'm still describing the same condition, but it just gets them away from that mindset that, you know, I can have a high sheen situation without, you know, giving them gloss. And again, I've got some, I'll show you that when we do the sealers. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this, just so you can see what this looks like, and we can leave it dry and go a little bit further. Would you guys paint a pail of water outside? Back up a little bit. I'm gonna go back into my field test kit here, and I need to pull out some tools. I got a couple of different brushes here. Excellent choice for a field test, you know, kit. Well, what do you think? Stripping a 1,000 square foot, you know, backyard patio? Probably not the right tool, right? You know, there are better tools, bigger tools, so size your equipment appropriately. But I'm just gonna use one of these little brushes just to be able to make sure I've got those polymers released. It's real easy, it's nothing, you know, real scientific about that. I'm gonna take and rinse that surface with water. When water hits this stripper, it typically turns white. And I'm just agitating this a little bit further just with my finger here because that got a little dry. And you typically would take your leaf blower and dry that surface real quick. The best time to know if you're successful doing cleaning is when that surface is dry. So just a little artificial surface drying. But, and I can pass this around if you guys want to take a look at this, you can see what the moisture is doing on this. I've got the darkening of that surface, you know, so I've got water infiltration, you know, coming into the top of that surface versus everything else that's out here is still slippery. And you can feel the difference in that. Let me just dry this off a little bit so you guys don't have to. And I'll just pass this around real quick. So this, again, this is a solvent-based sealer. This happens to be our thickest, hardest sealer in terms of the coat on top of there. Your customer's got multiple, you know, applications. Maybe they're one of these people that they thought they had to apply every year. It's a little tacky. That's still polymer there. You need to strip the rest of that off. That is not something you want to, you know, apply over the top of it.
Are there any sealers that don't give a feeling where it's pretty obvious that something is going to apply?
If you do a water test, you should be able to catch all of the sealers. In terms of the stripping side of it, again, like I said, my silane siloxane-based sealers or my stain blocker one, I can't strip those off the surface.
I see.
You're wasting your time and mine, you know, trying to do that. The chemistry just isn't there for that. Any questions on all of our sealers? So we're trying to combat Mother Nature, but she always wins. Otherwise, we'd be talking about, you know, indefinite lifespan here. It's not acid rain. It's not snow plowing.